That's mom over there. Very proud right now. And I'm the incoming vice president of the NVIS. Everybody hear me okay? So the NVIS started back in the 1930s. So you can imagine that time, it was a bunch of Filipinos coming in working as like migrant workers. The 1930s wasn't all that socially friendly towards minorities at the time. So a bunch of our forefathers, the Mulinaunans, came together and said, look, I might need some help a little bit here. I was turned down for a job today because I'm Filipino, or I wasn't served at a restaurant today because I'm Filipino. Very hard day-to-day life during that time, and they kind of banded together to put together this organization that we're celebrating here, 70 years later? 70 more years later? So after that, there was a resurgence of the NVIS, 1975, where that was kind of the diasporic time of the Philippines. A lot of Filipinos were coming in, working, and because of that, there were a lot of Filipino organizations kind of coming up as well, kind of socialized, social groups like that. And there were a lot of them. So does anyone here know if there are any other Filipino organizations that still are remaining, like the NVIS today? Are there any? One? Any other ones? Laman? Any others? So one. We know one right now? Two. So there are two, and NVIS makes three. And there were a lot at the time, like 5 or 6 or 7 like that, I was told. So we're one of the remaining few. We're one of the survivors. So why did we survive? We survived because we have this constitution that was started back in 1930. It's been the point of our stability, and we still operate on it until this time. The other reason why we survived is because of the people. We have a few people here who are heart and soul. They do this, day in and day out. Just hard time and hard effort keeping this thing alive. But another thing that I think makes the NVIS special is, and we don't have the banner up here, but there's a symbol for the NVIS. It's the house on stilts, and the people of the town are getting together and they're getting their bamboo sticks, and they're actually getting underneath the house and moving it if it's in a place of risk, and moving it to a more safe place for their family to live. That's kind of what I think is the big value behind the NVIS, is the community, people coming together and helping each other. That's what makes us live on. So, why are we in the state we're in now? Currently, let's be real. We're currently losing members. Interest is a little bit low, and our funds are dwindling. The reason why, in my opinion, is the NVIS is kind of like the Flintstones in a Jetsons world. Anybody remember the Flintstones? Yeah. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones, right? They're all cavemen. They don't have shoes. They're wearing animal furs. Everything's stone, and yeah, Stone Age, right? So they're all working hard and doing everything very manually. So the NVIS is the Flintstones in a Jetsons world. Now in the Jetsons, if you guys remember, everybody's living in spaceships. Their cars are spaceships. They go to work, and computers and robots are doing the work for them. And all George Jetson has to do is sit at his desk and press a button all day. So the NVIS is working on the tools, systems, and ideals of the 1930s, and here we are sitting in 2008. So we have a lot of catching up to do. We have a lot of evolving to do. So I want to kind of say a quote here. It's written by a writer named Carolyn Schroeder, and it says, "Some people change when they see the light. Others change when they feel the heat." Some of the members kind of feel the heat. They see their hard work and they see their time spent, and they don't see a lot of energy behind the organization. They see that they're facing extinction for the organization. Other members kind of see the light. They see that we've survived this long, and they see that we have potential to evolve, to make this a more modern more interesting, and maybe even inspiring kind of organization. So tonight, my daughter and my son, Alana and Logan, were handing out surveys. By the way, did everyone get a survey? Is there anyone that didn't get a survey? Please make sure that you get a survey. We wrote it specifically for this crowd because we want to hear your voice. We want some very frank and very honest feedback on the organization. Tell us what we're doing well. It's always nice to get a pat on the back. But more importantly, tell us what we're doing wrong. I think there are a number of my generation that aren't members yet, and I want you to use this opportunity to write down there what it'll take, what changes need to be made in order for you guys to become members, because that's important. I mean, there's a lot of fixing I think that needs to be done. Auntie Claire did mention the meeting in February. I want to kind of re-emphasize how important this meeting is going to be. So in this meeting, we're going to be asking ourselves some very basic and important questions. Things like, what are the values of the NBIS? What is our mission statement? And hopefully when we walk out of that meeting, we'll be kind of pondering the idea of what the purpose is behind the NBIS, because I don't think that's clear, and I think it needs to change from the 1970s, and the previous generation and how they ran it. So I want you guys to kind of walk through this with me. Imagine an organization, a strong organization. This organization is well established, it's strong, it kind of exists above hurt feelings, family feuds, and family gossip. In this organization, we share things like our passions, our hobbies, charities, fundraisers. We communicate the need, our older generation might communicate